runs off, her husband can barely keep up with her. His heart has yet to recover from the heart attack. Lorraine reaches the precipice above the dam and manages to slow down. At the last moment, suddenly, a pale hand grabs her leg and tries to drag her down. It reaches his wife and helps her crawl from the edge. Jessica's case seems to have been solved. Lorraine tells the police that the girl was running, not knowing the path, and fell into the river. Ed's fast running makes him sick. He's forgotten his heart pills, so he needs to call an ambulance. Meanwhile, Jessica's body was found at the bottom of the river. The policeman admits that the Warrens are psychics. He hands them the case. File unexpectedly. The Warrens get a call from girlfriend. She claims that the unfortunate guy is experiencing visions. Someone wants to frighten the poor guy so badly that he kills himself at night. A thunderstorm breaks out and shakes with terror. A prison chaplain visits him, leaves a bottle of holy water, and instructs the man to protect himself. The Warrens decided Jessica's body, lifted from the bottom, can help them when Lorraine touched the possessed boy. She saw some kind of a ritual. Maybe she'll see something else this time. The Warrens break into the MOG, touching Jessica's body. Lorraine senses the occultist. She sees a stone dungeon and stares, hears the noise of a train, and notices an altar with a metal cup. Right now, the witch is performing a ritual. Her target is on the witch, forces him to break the holy water bottle and cut his wrist with the shard. Lorraine intervenes and forces her to interrupt the ritual. The witch is furious and tries to get revenge on Lorraine. One of the bodies in the morgue stands up and attacks the woman and throws his spouse's hand away from the victim. The connection is lost and the rebellious body collapses to the floor. The Warrens return home in their absence. The assistant has found a book about Strigeria, a special religious sorcery. It says that one can break a spell by destroying the altar. So how will they find it? Annie and Jessica lived in different states. Why were they the victims of the same witch? Lorraine recalls the details of her vision and tries to figure out where the altar is hidden. At this time, Ed becomes ill in the hallucination. He is attacked by a giant body from the morgue again. Ed struggles to defend himself with a knife and comes to his senses. When an assistant grabs his arm, it turns out that Ed was about to attack his own wife. The Warrens search the house. The room is full of bouquets given to Ed when he was discharged from the hospital. The flowers have decayed only in one of them. Ed drops the vase, it shatters, and the
witch's totem is found inside. Lorraine goes to Father Custer one more time and asks him to translate the lines from the book in ancient Latin. Ed and his assistant study Jessica's case. It turns out that the girl has been studying in the same town when Aaron lives. Consequently, all the totems were brought to add Jessica and Ant's family in the same location. Ed recalls that Lorraine saw a wet dungeon and heard a train while in the trance after studying a map of railroad lines and rivers. He discovers the location of the altar, horrified, and jumps out of the house and leaves his heart pills remain on the table. Meanwhile, Lorraine is talking to Father Costner. He reads the book and explains that the witch has promised 3 souls to the devil. The symbol of purity was the immaculate Jessica. The symbol of faith was her husband, Ed. The symbol of love was Anne, who adored his girlfriend. But most importantly, Father Costner seems to know the witch. It's his daughter, Isla Costner, has spent his life studying the occult to protect her, but it ended up having the opposite effect. He has just encouraged her interests. Now Isla is hiding in the tunnels beneath his house. That's the place I'd found on the map. The priest sends Lorraine into the tunnel. His witch daughter appears out of the darkness and attacks him. Father Costner's life is cut short. At least he gave some time to Lorraine. Her husband reaches the house and also enters the dungeon. The witch attacks Lorraine but gets a fight back, determined to act more cunningly. She supervised Ed, armed with a sledgehammer. He attacks his own wife. Meanwhile, the ritual with the metal cup is initiated and sees hallucinations in prison. No one can help him. His body rises into the air. An attempts to stab himself with a shot of glass, but his girlfriend holds the guy's arm and prevents him from doing so. Lorraine begs Ed to come back to his senses. She reminds him of the day they met and the white gazebo that became the symbol of their love. Ed comes back to his senses. Instead of dropping the sledgehammer on Lorraine's head, he turns around and hits the altar in prison. Arn falls back to the floor. The spell breaks. The witch's body begins to break and twist. She has promised the soul to the devil, but she didn't bring them, which means that now she must give her own life. The devil appears in Isla's guise. The witch's life is cut short after all the stress and has another heart attack, but he doesn't have any pills. Wait a minute. His loving wife has one hidden in her locket. The Warrens leave the dungeon, taking the men the ritual camp. It will be placed in their vault with the door. Annabelle and other trophies. I wish I could say An was also doing well.
The jury didn't believe his possession. Nevertheless, the sentence was commuted. The young man marries his girlfriend and gets out of prison 5 years later, and Ed builds a snow-white gazebo in his yard. It's a gift for Lorraine, and a reminder that the power of love can break any spell. What do you think of this creepy story? Don't forget